I just want to point out a couple things just so you understand. The visual that I sent you, I choose because it's the least confusing. Some people use a visual of the circle of fifths that has an overlap for 5, 6, and 7 sharps and flats. And 5, 6, and 7 are enharmonic. So you've already learned that enharmonic is 2 different names for the same note. Let me give you an example of that. If you look at your circle of fifths, F sharp at number 6 is the same as G flat at number 6. And D flat, number 5, is the same as C sharp. And what was the one I missed? Sharp. B and C flat. So number 5 in the right circle and number 7 in the left circle are also enharmonic. So this visual is just a little bit more appealing and less confusing. And since you guys are going so fast, you don't need any extra stress. The other thing, you can memorize and practice writing it out and counting your 5 notes. But on one of the visuals that I sent you, you can also use the system of starting your circle at the F. So you'll see this in one of the visuals I sent you where it says start here. And you could just simply say the words. It starts where the F on the flat side starts. Where F major starts, go Father Charles goes down and ends battle. We went to the right. And then we say it again. We go Father Charles at the C flat, and then goes down and ends battle. So you could memorize that way as well. Also kind of for you mathematical buffs, it's kind of a cool thing. So if you look at C major, which has 0 sharps or flats, and then you look at C flat major at the bottom has 7. 0 plus 7 equals 7. Same C, and C sharp has 7 plus 0 equals 7. So mathematically, if you want to double check your circle of fifths and whether or not you wrote it out right for your test, just check a couple things. So it will always equal 7, the same alphabet letter name. So for example, G major has 1 sharp. If you go across to the other side, G flat major has 6 flats. So 1 sharp plus 6 flats equals 7 again. Similarly, the ones that people mostly mix up seems to be the E's and the A's. So if you look at E flat has 3, then E major is going to have 4. That 4 plus 3 equals 7, and vice versa. A flat major has 4, and A major has 3. So 4 plus 3 is 7. And you could do that for all of them. B flat has 5, B major has 2. 5 plus 2 is 7. So not that I use that as my way of figuring out what has sharps or flats or anything like that, but it just helps you to double check that you actually wrote out your circle of fifths correctly if each alphabet letter equals 7 each time. That's just a little tidbit. Hopefully you understand that all okay, and we're going to move along into how to apply the circle of fifths into a scale. There was a page that Jade was working on. It had to do with the names, the degree names of a scale. Or you've probably read in your exercise book, write it from the dominant to the dominant, or the tonic, subdominant, leading note, all those things. Jade's going to find the page while I'm talking. So I don't know if you learned Roman numerals in school. It does tell you.
Page 23.
Okay, so on page 23 you have Roman numerals. So music has to use different things to look after each other. So if you see numbers, like the numbers that we're used to seeing, the Arabic numbers, just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, written normally, how we do them every day. That's often for finger numbers, things like that. We use Roman numerals for the degree of the scale in the key signature that we're working in. We also use it to identify chords, the Roman numerals. So most importantly, you should be learning and memorizing the Roman numerals from 1 to 7 for sure, if you never learned them in your regular school, because I know they don't teach them in the curriculum anymore. So then Roman numeral number 1 applies to the tonic note, which means it's the first note. For example, if we're talking in C major, we know that C major is C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. No sharps, no flats. So the tonic would be on the C that you start on, and it could also be the C that you end on. Those would be both considered the tonic note, and we would assign Roman numeral number 1 to that. The supertonic simply means the note above your tonic note. So that would be degree number 2. In this case, the supertonic would be D. Mediant, you can think of mediant meaning in the middle. So you might say, well, that's not the middle of 7, but the 2 most important notes in any key signature are the first note and the 5th note. So 3 is between 1 and 5. So mediant is the middle note, or the 3rd degree, and in this case, the 3rd degree of C major is an E. I'm going to skip number 4 for a second because we're going to go to 5. I just told you that the 5th note is one of the most important notes in any key signature. So the 5th note is the dominant note. So just remember that. The 1st and the 5th are the most important. The 5th is the dominant. Back to the 4th. The 4th is called the subdominant. Think of a submarine under. So subdominant is under the dominant note. That's the 4th degree. In this case, the 4th degree is F. The 5th degree is G. The next 2, number 6, is the submediant. The submediant note in this case is the A. And then the 7th note, just think of it as the note that leads into the tonic. Okay, so in other words, it's the note before the tonic. And that's the 7th degree, and in this case is a B, if we're talking about C major. So I hope you kind of understand that portion.